In this video, I'm going to delve into the effects of anxiety on the voice. Now, sometimes it could be linked to just communication anxiety generally or some social anxiety, and that's one issue. And sometimes it can be just a generalized anxiety that affects particular types of voice users like singers. Sometimes people contact me and have a feeling that their voice is being affected more by anxiety than anything else. There are many conditions that we know where the voice gets exacerbated by anxiety, and sometimes there's no rhyme or reason to it. It's just difficult. Sometimes people say, I don't know why I suddenly get tense and then that affects my voice. There is quite a mysterious element to some of it. For example, when people have spasmodic dysphonia, we know that stress and anxiety makes that condition so much worse because they'll have times where their voice is totally free and fluent and other times where it's not. And sometimes it's hard working out which influences are affecting the voice. Other times for singers, they'll feel anxious about their voice and they'll say to me, I think anxiety is playing a bigger part than anything else because I'm worrying about it so much. And that's the thing about voice. Once it hasn't worked as well as it did once, or the way you were used to it working, and it starts to let you down a bit, there's sometimes a fear can be created that the voice might not work on a particular show or a particular thing that you're doing or a particular speech you have to give. And it can all build up. And so then we get to a situation where the chicken and egg thing happens. Is there muscle tension dysphonia that caused the voice? So it's just something that affects the larynx. And because of that, the person becomes anxious. And the anxiety is the thing that's perpetuating the muscle tension dysphonia. Or was it just anxiety that caused the person perhaps to get in quite held postures, maybe holding the larynx in certain ways and causing the muscle tension dysphonia? It's very hard to unravel. And actually, some of the release techniques are very similar. So sometimes we don't have to pinpoint exactly, but we have to work with the person holistically to work out what's influencing their voice. And also ways that you can give some safe, reliable work that the person can carry out to release some of those tensions, and also to work emotionally with somebody to create some sense of relaxation around their voice and lack of anxiety. And it can take a little bit of time. Sometimes when the voice person feels their voice a bit differently, that kicks off the whole cycle of, oh, it feels better, then they relax more, then they don't have so much anxiety. But I think always getting a bit of support is useful. Otherwise you can go round in a loop, constantly going round and round. And often these things can be released. Once you get a sense of your voice working well again, that in turn will just reduce the anxiety. Why does anxiety have such a big bearing on the voice? Why can we just get tense all of a sudden and then some people feel it here? I think people hold their tension in different parts of the body. Some people might be prone more to headaches. Some people are more prone to backaches or neck aches. And for some people, a lot of their anxiety finds itself in the neck and the larynx muscles. And if you think about it, this centre here is really important. It's where we speak from and communicate from in most cases. It's where we eat and drink, and it's where we breathe. So we couldn't really have more centrally important things than those things. And the larynx is innervated by very many muscles. The second area that has the most nerves in it, other than the eyes. So all those nerves feeding into the larynx mean, of course, that it's very prone to not working sometimes or becoming affected by stress or tensions or illnesses. So it's remarkable really that when it's working well, we don't even think about our voices. They just work naturally with all these complicated things that are going on inside. But when the voice of the larynx doesn't work well, that's when it's really brought to our attention. And then we become really sensitized to that. We could either really feel some discomfort inside. Some people feel a lot of discomfort on the outside. Anxiety brings tension in different ways for different people. We can have external muscle tension, and that will affect the inside, or vice versa. Then we start to get into a situation where the tension is causing discomfort. So part of the early stages of treatment for me is always to try and restore someone's larynx comfort and function so that they feel more comfortable and that it's functioning better. And from there, you can increase and do more with the larynx. And I think when the voice can do more and the emotional or the anxiety factors have been explored in therapy, then that will hopefully have a positive effect in reducing the tension that's going into the larynx and some of the anxiety factors. And sometimes they're quite wide-reaching issues, and there are sometimes lifestyle adjustments that people have to make or should think about making to really affect the reduction of anxiety and thereby the tension in the voice. If you found the video helpful, don't forget to press the like button and subscribe to the channel.